responsibilities of running a company is you have no choice but to multitask. Handling these three different roles is through the realization that all three feed each other. We have a very strong and powerful team that really handles everything successfully. One thing we realized that, just like you said, is that you can't really clone yourself. Technology, I think you have no other choice but to really leverage technology in order to reach more people. So these are the mechanisms we use to scale quality, although that's a very difficult thing to do, especially as you grow.
Hey, hi, I'm Piyush, co-founder of VEGA AI. Welcome back to our show. Today we have Abel, CEO of Ethio College Prep and a college counselor at Libavi International Academy. Welcome, Abel, to the show.
Welcome, Piyush. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. So here, what caught my attention is Abel runs his own company that has helped over 1,000 students to get into top universities while simultaneously working as a counselor and helping kids to achieve their dream. Would love to start with Abel, asking question with Abel that how does he manage to do simultaneously two things, and also he is an active content creator to help his company's brand grow. So Abel would love to understand how do you manage multitasking all these three different things.
Okay. Yeah, to begin with, I think you'll understand to Piyush, right? One of the priorities or one of the big responsibilities of running a company is you have no choice but to multitask. You'll be dealing with multiple fires from a lot of different angles. So by default, as a result of being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of fires and a lot of angles to deal with. But in addition to that, how I am currently handling these three different roles is through the realization that all three feed each other. So I kind of handle it that way. So with a content creation role is primarily to grow the company's marketing, to advertise our different services, and to also grow my personal brand so that the company also is known as a result of my personal brand. So that kind of feeds into the CEO role too. So it's prioritized that way. And the counseling role, it's already part of my job description, and it's how I stay connected to what's happening on the ground, because one of the issues of being a CEO is that you might get detached to what's happening on the market, what's happening in the day-to-day, what's happening in the team. So working at Libavi International Academy as a counselor allows me to really stay connected to what's happening this year at the current moment on the ground directly from students. So that's the benefit. But the big support comes from the team. We have a very strong and powerful team that really handles everything successfully. So I'm able to focus on these key aspects of growing that company in different.
Great, nice to know that. And obviously, not just three things. I know you also have a family, and this is what entrepreneurship is all about, like multitasking and taking out time for everything that is on the priority.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know me and who are new to this podcast, I'm Piyush, co-founder of VEGA AI, and we help institutions and entrepreneurs scale expertise without hiring or scaling their headcount. Whether you're running SAT prep company in Ethiopia or a research firm in Boston, the challenge is same. Your knowledge is valuable, but you cannot clone yourself. Companies like Allen, Ethio College Prep, Dune School, and founders like Abel are using VEGA to turn expertise into infrastructure. That's what we are going to unpack today. So, moving to the next question, Bill, you went from 3 students to over 1,000 in 6 years. That's not a linear growth, right? What had to break for you to realize that you cannot scale the old way? I should reframe the question that what you did to scale to have this non-linear kind of growth.
So in order to achieve that growth, first of all, obviously it took time. It is a bit of a reasonably fast growth, but it took time. One thing we realized that, just like you said, is that you can't really clone yourself. As a result, what we did was, to begin with, we cloned the curriculum, right? It was me and my co-founder who initially created the curriculum based on what Ethiopian students need and based off our understanding of the level Ethiopian students in the market are. So based off of that, we created the first curriculum and then used that to train a couple of tutors. Those tutors took over, started training more and more people. We expanded our services to include multiple different test dates. So we have SAT courses before different test dates throughout the whole year. And we also expanded more and then diversified in terms of not just time, but also location. So we increased our headcount, making sure that we have high quality tutors through our quality assurance mechanism of like consistently training tutors, making sure they're following the curriculum as we have planned it out, making sure they're assigning homeworks according to the schedule. We have already created a system. We saw that works. So it's just a matter of replicating that system. But after a certain point, it comes to also leveraging technology. I think you have no other choice but to really leverage technology in order to reach more people. After a certain point, it just gets very bulky and hard to manage. So the scalability is happening that way through time, location. We slowly started increasing. And then after a certain point, we also expanded through leveraging technology, particularly the tool we used with you guys on the VEGA AI platform that allowed us to reach more people without actually significantly increasing the workload complexities on our side. And so it's more of like creating the system. Initially allowed us to increase the amount of courses per year. Adding more people allowed us to increase more customers and more different locations. And then leveraging technology allowed us to actually even go beyond locations and think broader and approach larger and larger markets.
Yep, absolutely tremendous, I would say. But as you have scaled, the follow-up question that I have over here, or the curiosity that I have is like, when you cannot be in each and every session. Okay, like how do you maintain and scale quality? Because the quality, what you guys would have, and you or your co-founder has built the system, how it goes down to the educators and how you scale the quality, because scaling to over 1,000 kids is not happens just like anything. There needs to be a way that you have
Yeah.
placed quality at the center of your training program. Would love to understand how you have scaled quality in a way.
Okay. So how we are scaling quality starts off with our hiring process to begin with. In our hiring, all tutors we added to the company, our tutors have already scored 1400 and above on the SAT, which is in the top 10% of SAT scores worldwide. That to begin with gives us already a high quality teaching staff. Once we have filtered through that, the next filter is through teaching mechanisms. So we look on how these students teach, because sometimes just because you have a 1550 on the ACT doesn't mean you're able to teach very well. So we assess their teaching mechanisms and teaching techniques, teaching methodologies, and make sure they're on par according to our needs. And after we assess that, the next step is to obviously provide training to this tutoring team, not just one time, but making sure it happens consistently. The next step would be making sure that there's constant follow-ups in their classes, providing regular feedback. But in terms of assessing quality on the direct customer side, it's through mainly technology tools, right? We follow up on how they're progressing on different aspects of the ACT. Some kids might be strong on math, some people might be strong on English, or some kids might be strong on a specific part of maths and weak on another specific part of math. So that allows us to easily track tools like we use, like for example, the VEGA AI tool we use allows us to track that easily and allows us to provide our teachers with faster and more concise and more powerful data so they can tailor their training sessions in a more efficient way for the students. So these are the mechanisms we use to scale quality, although that's a very difficult thing to do, especially as you grow. These are some of the techniques we use to make sure it's a top-notch quality, because without the quality, it's no longer interesting for customers. So these are the techniques.
So at some point of your journey of building Ethio College Prep, you started using Vega AI. Walk me through
Yes.
what you were struggling with before that, and what made you think that, hey, let me now try out Vega AI, this product.
The big thing was the change of the SAT from paper-based to digital. That forces you to be more digital and technologically leveraged company, because when the SAT is given digitally and when you're providing practice that's on paper, that's not really an efficient way to teach the students, because it's not realistic. It's not according to how the exams are given. So that was one of the big reasons. But in addition to that, we wanted that allows us easy access to how students are performing, a tool that has multiple questions, because as a company, we really believe in SAT training should be highly focused on practice compared to most other exams. SAT is one of the few exams that requires a ton of practice before actually taking the exam. Some exams you might be able to read the book and then perform well, but the SAT requires both reading the book and also practicing a lot. So having a tool that had a lot of questions in it that students can practice with was very important to us. And as you might know, the SAT is adaptive. And since it's adaptive, we wanted a tool that would allow us to adapt to the student's skill level when it's asking them practice questions. It's not just, having them do random practice questions. That was the mechanism we used in the past because it was very hard to make it adaptive. But when you're using an AI integrated platform, it makes it much simpler to adapt to the student's skill level. So that allowed us to adapt and provide highly impactful feedback to the students and get them on a track where they're improving specifically on their challenges and on their weaknesses. So those were the big ones. But another thing was also the large student size we were serving, right? In order to scale quality, as discussed, we needed an integrated platform that can be duplicated as many times as we want for multiple students and allow us to do adaptive testing with easy dashboard access and with
Yeah,
great data analytics tool. That was the big reason.
great. So, Abel, a follow-up question on the same. So basically, would love to understand that how much time it took for you to understand the platform or to get things started, so that it was easy for you to start with the SAT at the very first place, or we call digital SAT now, right? So,
Yeah.
how much time it took for you to get it through the platform and get the thing started?
The platform actually wasn't that difficult on the basic features. So on 80% of the features, it's not really that difficult, especially when you're close to technological stuff. It's not that difficult. So we easily adapted to how to use the dashboard, how to assign questions, how to divide up by cohorts, how to create practice tests, how to assign practices, how to batch practice tests, how to batch groups, different features that you guys have, which I would like to appreciate at this point, actually, because it's a lot of freedom it allows to create it in a perfectly maximized way for us. It's not just that it's a good technology, but it allows you multiple freedom to create it in different ways, to organize it in different ways, to see your data in different ways, to export your data in different ways. So it has a lot of freedom, which is the big thing I like. So most of that was very easy. Most of the basic tools that you would need day to day was very easy to adapt to. It's built intuitively too. The rest 20% is the rare type of tools you would need, maybe like creating courses, creating journeys and all that. Took a bit of time to handle. But that's a rare type of thing that we use, and it's obviously going to require a bit more time because creating a course is not an easy thing compared to exporting data or creating a batch of students. So those were the
Yeah, yep,
things. So for the most part, very intuitive.
yep. I know, but you have been a serial entrepreneur, right? So creating a course before the AI era and creating course after AI era, definitely using Vega AI, definitely it takes time. But how much? But by what percent the time has been reduced to create a course? Because I'm aware you built a course for using our speaking and listening capability feature, where a human or a student can speak and learn any language, as you have also built. And would love to understand your journey of building a new course altogether, definitely, which has listening and speaking kind of courses and grade people immediately and give them feedback. What was your experience in that, and uh, how much time it would have taken if not using Vega AI to build something like that? Was it possible, or how much time it would have taken to you?
Whew, no, it would have been definitely much longer. It would have been definitely much longer. I don't know how to put it in percentages, but at least it would take more, triple, quadruple the amount of time than using the Vega AI platform. It's not just that using a technological tool makes it easier, but the benefit of using the platform was that it's intuitive, one. Secondly, the AI integration really simplifies a lot of aspects of course creation, from providing outlines, from providing feedback, from interacting with it to get suggestions on how to organize everything. And especially the English aspect, or the new feature that you guys added, not new actually, it's been a while, but the feature where you guys have the option of creating speaking, listening, reading, writing type of questions, which is a very rare type of thing. It's not just that it would have taken a lot of time, but it would have been harder to even create that type of course. So the big benefit was it significantly decreased the time, and it's not just the decrease of time, but things that we would not have been able to do. For example, we might be not able to do it in like a Google Drive folder and all that, but it would have been a very inefficient mechanism. So it not only allowed us to create the course, but also saved us a lot of time while creating it.
Yep, great to know that. And thanks for exploring that feature, because I vividly remember that you came up with that request, that something when you guys, like when we are launching this, and when we launched, you were one of the first company to explore that feature. Not just explore, you built a very beautiful course and running it successfully. And then, as you have answered as well, because it's not just about creating a course. Back in the day, to evaluate a speaking kind of test was a lot of manual process, and it can be
Mm,
biased as well, right? You
mm,
have to listen and give somebody grade. Now the system can grade the test immediately, not just grade it, but also give feedback, which is actually impossible to scale with humans, teachers basically. And the good part is the feedback and the grading rubric is designed by the teachers or the people like you. So you have the flexibility to design the rubric how you want to grade or give the feedback. So basically,
mm.
it's like grading and personalizing feedback at scale.
100%, 100%. Very hard to do with an in-person team.
Also, I'm aware that you use AI avatar feature of Vega AI for your students, where they can review the test with the AI avatar or practice with the AI avatar. What the value it brings in your journey and maintaining a good quality service for your students using your company's AI avatar?
So yeah, the AI avatar is an interesting feature. It allows you to really create an agent based on how you want it to respond, based on the particular skills you want it to have, the particular focus you want it to have. So that's a very useful tool. So students have been mainly using it not as more of a one-on-one interaction, because students usually respond with they can use other tools like to do the one-on-one interaction like ChatGPT and other stuff. But for direct feedback on questions, it's very useful. For example, students will face a difficult question on maths and write on the screen next to
Mhm.
the question, there's an option to create other questions using the AI avatar so that you can really attack that specific type of question. For example, if you're facing a specific type of geometry question that you're struggling with and you don't know how to solve it, but then you realize how to solve it, you want to challenge yourself again so that you're really at a mastery level on it. So using the AI avatar tool, you can create multiple of those particular kind of questions, and that allows you to really hone in and strengthen that particular skill. So from all aspects of the AI avatar, that's what I really love about it, that you can recreate another question and attack your weaknesses and strengths that way.
Yep. And also, you use our product for lead generation using AI agents and free tests. How does it help you to generate better leads at a better conversion rate?
It's a great tool for leads because the platform gives you an option of giving a certain level of questions or a certain level of practice tests for free so that you can generate leads. And students really love that feature because having the access to practice tests that are adaptive, that are on PC, that are similar to what College Board provides on their Blue Book platform is a really great option because it's not very easily available. The other type of practices you can get, there are some available online, but they might not be adaptive. They might just be paper-based and all that. So that really allows us to get a lot of leads, and particularly the diagnostic exam, which allows you to see students to see where they are at on their grades, on their SAT performance. That also we've seen create a lot of leads for us. Yeah, that's the diagnostic aspect is really great tool we've been utilizing.
So I guess enough of Vega AI. We should move to the next question. So you have
Mm.
built Ethio College Prep into something that works at scale. What does the next chapter look like for you? Like, are you expanding geographically or adding new courses, services? Like, just curious to know where Ethio College Prep is headed.
Yeah, that's the plan. We visualize it as a 20, 30, 40, 100-year company. It's a journey that will not stop. So the next step, both things that you said are in the process of being integrated, right? We are already expanding geographically and we intend to do more geographic expansion and definitely on services too. SAT is not just the end all be all. We plan on adding much more courses, a comprehensive set of courses for anybody that intends to apply. We already have TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo search courses, but we also intend to expand to master's level courses, AP courses, and the like. And we're also going deeper on providing support to different countries students might want to apply to, not just, the US. The US is a common destination, but these days students are also exploring other continents that they might be interested in. So we are expanding options to provide support to other different countries too. And yeah, eventually we also intend to join other markets in Africa, not just Ethiopia, but other markets in Africa, other countries in Africa, and really expand geographically to serve a large market.
Great. All the best on your expansion plan, Abel. And
Thank you.
the next question I would love to ask you is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to build what you have built? Because the baton needs to pass on, right? Somebody else will come and
Mm,
do better than us. So, what would be your advice to
yeah.
somebody who wants to build a high quality, scalable company like yours? And that too in a market where the playbook doesn't exist. You have built something from Ethiopia where things are not easily available, the infrastructure is not there yet.
I think the big thing I would say is the building and growth of a company is highly dependent on the founder. Obviously, the team also plays a big impact, but the founder plays a big role in the initial years and also in the growth stages. As a result, if you're not working on personal development as a founder, you can't not only consider growth, but starting a company without being willing to develop yourself on a constant daily, weekly basis is a very big challenge. It's near impossible. And the growth that's required from an entrepreneur is not equal to the growth that might be required by anybody else, to be honest. I don't think there's a the delta that we experience in everyday growth I don't think is experienced by other type of people. So a big understanding that I think the next generation of founders or anybody that might be listening to this might need to take is growth needs to be a priority. But when we say growth, you shouldn't really compare yourself to everyone else around you, but growth on a grand scale, on a big scale, and maximizing daily what how much you can grow. And that's the big thing. The other thing is increasing pain tolerance. That's a big thing for me because obviously there's a lot of challenges every day, every week, every quarter that you have to deal with, and people highly underestimate the amount of pain that they will be experiencing in this journey of entrepreneurship. So through whatever means possible,
Yeah.
might be exercising, might be challenging yourself on different type of ways, emotionally, psychologically, physically. You really need to expand what your limit is. The limit, I don't believe limit exists, but we all have mental limits, and we really need to expand what our mental limit is. And that's done through really challenging yourself on a daily and a regular basis. So really the big ones for me. Personal development, I already believed in it before I was an entrepreneur and highly believed in it more once I became an entrepreneur. But pain tolerance is something I learned through the journey, and a big advice I give to anybody that might be interested in the journey of entrepreneurship and scaling a company, especially when you are the pioneer, it will require more of that.
Yeah. Very nicely put, Abel. And obviously, coming from you who has walked the path, you are talking with experience, and it's totally evident. So, thanks for sharing your experience. This lets us to come to the end of this podcast. And Abel, thanks for breaking the things down and explaining things so nicely. What you have built is a proof that constraint is not where you are located; it's whether you are willing to build systems at scale or not. And to everyone listening, if you are an entrepreneur, educator, or a founder trying to do more without burning out, this is the model: expertise plus infrastructure plus smart systems. This is all you need to scale yourself, your company across the globe. And that is what Big AI is built for. If this conversation resonated with you, go and try yours. Our website is myvega.ai. We'll be back next week. Thank you, Abel. If you have any message for your audience, please you can share that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my final point would be thank you for having me, Piyush. I would highly recommend the VEGA AI platform as well. Really decreased a lot of workload for us. And the customer service you guys will be receiving is just really top notch. They're constantly available, solve almost anything that you might face instantly, 5-10 minutes max sometimes. So it's a really great partnership we've had with VEGA AI. So I highly recommend the VEGA AI platform as well. And, yeah, if anybody want to check us out and are considering SAT-related services, particularly in the Africa area or the diaspora Ethiopian or African community, you can find us at ethiocollegeprep.com or Ethio College Prep across all social media platform. And Ethio is spelled ETHIO and then College Prep. And we're available on all social media platforms.
Thank you, Abel, for your time. Pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Piyush.